All right. We're starting off the day with 30% battery, so we know it's going to be a great day, right? If I forgot to charge any batteries for the GoPro, there's like 6 of them. And out of those 6, I couldn't even have 2 ready to go. So that's nice. But the weather ain't great here, friends. And I was hoping, and I don't think I'm going to accomplish that either. I was hoping to clean that up and get primer on it. But I don't know, friends. Basically, what has to happen here is wire wheeling the other 3 sides, and then we should be good to go. But I don't know. We can try that. A little wire wheeling never hurt anybody. Maybe a little brake clean never hurt anybody. And we might get it dry enough to put some primer on. So we're going to get started right after this. Welcome back. If you haven't seen my videos before, I'm Rusty Oliver Man. This is our metal beam. I think today's video is going to be a mix match of whatever we get accomplished, because yeah. But we got this all drilled up. In the last video it was kind of dark, so we couldn't really appreciate what we were looking at. But the last thing we did was drill those 2 holes that the hydraulic lines go through. But basically, I think this turned out pretty nice myself. I mean, it certainly looks like it'll do the job. And it can't be any worse than the one that was bent and cracked, you know. Maybe some stuff we'll have to finagle a little bit, or, you know, whopper jaw a hole or something. I don't know. We'll see what we get into. But I'm not putting it back in there until it's painted red. Even though it's not going to match, it'll still be better than, you know, rusty going to pieces type of thing. So yeah, I'm gonna get that wire wheel angle grinder, and I guess we'll just give every side a quick run over, and then we'll see. I've got some buckets set up out of the way. We'll set this on there and see if we can't get 3 sides of it covered with primer, and then later we'll flip it over, and then a few days or a week or a year from now we'll paint it red and then put it back together. So I really want this done by spring, because I want that for a spare. You know, if that big one has something go wrong, wouldn't it be nice to just hook to a different one and go? And what we might find is that we like the smaller one better, because I could probably pull it a lot faster. So I don't know, but what I'm saying is this is step 1. It don't do no good when it's in pieces. So let me grab the stuff that's right behind me. Another part of this adventure is we need to take some hay to the moo-moos. So we really need this tractor. We can't have it tied up with this project. So we might as well plug on, friends. Plug on. Got the water jet going there. Yeah. Big horse. Whoa. Pretty well what we got on here is a mixture of oil and water from drilling all them holes. They say oil and water doesn't mix, but it kind of does. Snazzy, snazzy, sure. Flip this down. Come on, baby. Oh. Yeah, sure. One more. It's gonna be a struggle bus. Come on. All right. right, dry off. Uh-oh, we're almost out of the good stuff. We need to get more. Let's get ready. Tip. Just the tip. There we go. Ah, good old Simchlorolimpatador. It's good stuff. We'll carry this up there where I got the bucket set up. Closer to where we're going to be finally. You know, you see how that works? Like, we're working towards getting it done. Actually, now that I think about it, maybe I should move my buckets out there to where this thing is sitting, so that this beam is right there next to it, instead of having to move it twice, you know. That would make more sense, wouldn't it? Because then, in theory, I could just manhandle it into place. I think that's what Ross is going to do. But that's going to require him to move a school bus, which is sitting in the way. So how does Ross want to do that? Well, he'll figure that out when he gets there. Oh yeah, this doesn't have the ground cable hooked up. Somehow, miraculously, it still gets a ground and will make clickety-click sounds even when the thing's not hooked up. So figure that one out. How do you carry your buckets? Sleep. All right. I'm still not real happy with this. I think I'm gonna go in, and I've got a bunch of rags and stuff in the house, old clothes, that kind of thing. I probably even have some shop rags that have went through the washing machine. I'll grab something and wipe this down first, and I think we'll be in business, and we'll just slowly work at that. I got hopefully enough stuff to do it, but today's goal. Well, friends, that was quite rude. I knew the battery was going to cut out anytime. I found one that's got 19% battery, so maybe we can go a little while. I got some rags, so we're going to wipe down this big chunk here, and hopefully it will be good enough. And if it doesn't stay, like, we're not entering the county fair with this project. We just want it to be good from far, but far from good. As long as it looks decent-ish from 20 feet away. That's all we're after, friend. And a little bit of rust protection, you know? that actually went better than I thought, and I used less paint than I thought too. One thing, friends, good old Rust-Oleum, they make some good stuff. I mean, it covers good, and it's just good stuff. I mean, I'll just leave this sit here. Good paint. Yeah, so I brought 3 cans of each, and I think we'll get it done with 2 of each. The red might take an extra one, so I don't know. But we'll let this dry. It'd be super cool if after a while it was dry enough that I could flip it over and get the underneath. And then that'll be all that happens today. But it's ready then, friends. All we got to do is one day strong arm it in here. That's going to be a thrill, isn't it? But what we'll do is we'll try to get one side in those brackets, and maybe even put one bolt in and just pivot it on. That probably won't work though because of those tubes. We gotta, like, at the same time get those over the tubes and start getting it in the end brackets, but that's no big deal. I mean, it's gonna happen. We gotta not forget to put our bottom brace on for this to go in, but it's gonna go, friends. It's gonna go. It's really exciting, you know, that we're gonna make it happen. I'm curious about all that. Like, did somebody replace those 2 plates, or are those actually original plates and the paint's just come all off and it's bare steel underneath? I would almost say somebody's been in there, but because I don't know how. I'd have to look at the other one to see how that was originally, or if that's different. Maybe it's not, but I don't know. The old thing has been loved on pretty hard, and that's fine. We can make it better, but you just don't find these down here that often, so take what you get, you know. It was close enough to pull it home, so that's what I had to do. I mean, there's things on it that still needed attention. I'm getting hiccups or something. I mean, this tire, it's left the chat pretty well, I would say. Might actually have air in it, a little bit, outside air. And I think the bearing's out on that wheel. Well, no, the whole spindle is loose in the thing. That's not a big deal, but that's step 1, and then we'll figure out the rest of this and what we got to do. But I mean, we got some pretty decent-ish blades here on the back, so it has potential, you know, or I wouldn't have bought it. I thought that it was pretty darn nice. We do need to address that, because I had that break on my other one, much like that. And the bad thing about that is, if you let that get too bad and it goes too much, the wing will go way over center and end up breaking a bunch of stuff. And that sucks when it happens. Ask me how I know that. So we need to fix that. I see some other little cracking things that could use touch-up welding and that kind of stuff. We just got to go through and try to make it a little bit more better than what it is. That's a cobbled up mess. Whoever did that, I don't know what they were thinking there. They could have done a lot better. Yeah, I wish there was places that had, like, parted out implements, you know. Wouldn't it be nice to just get one of those off of another one of these and be done? Maybe I need to buy a 3rd one now for parts, because I've got so many things, you know. Basically, there's a lot of stuff that's the same between them, and the only thing that's different is the tubes themselves, because this one's got the, what is it, 3x5 tubing, and the other one's got like 4x4 tubing all the way through. I think the axle gang might be a different size on the 2 of them. I'm not sure about that. I know that some of the, like the 273 and 4, I'm not sure how that was. I was thinking that these had a different size axle than the other ones, and maybe they carried that on to the 273 and 274. I don't know. But this is a 271. That's a 272. I know that it does a good job, so why wouldn't this do a good job? You know, and we don't have rocks here, so it's not gonna be living that hard of a life, in theory, you know. providing we don't wrap it around a tree or something, it should be okay. So yeah, we're at 3% battery, so we're gonna have to pause. Silly me, I thought, you know, I'd run out of things to do today. Yeah, those are cows in my yard for some reason. That's great. There's cows where they're not supposed to be. There's more cows. I had an appointment to go somewhere, and so I was living my happy life, ready to go, waiting there early, sitting at my kitchen table, getting ready to leave. I heard Buddy the dog bark, and then I saw a cow go by. So sure. So now I had to leave, and I thought that I had them somewhat regulated, but that's not the case, because they're back. They found another place. What they did was open up a gate that I neglected to, I don't know. Anyway, they're in the yard. They couldn't wait. I was gonna take them a hay bale and set them up, and they were gonna have a happy life. And it wasn't to be, friends. It wasn't to be. All right, we've got 90% of them corralled. We're gonna go take some bales in there to them. Apparently they couldn't wait a couple more hours, you know. So I think what happened is, the other day there was a couple of them that wandered out, so they must have found a hole somewhere, and now they keep teaching more and more of them the trick. So once we get them all fed and back where they belong, we need to try to figure out where they have decided to escape from. So I was going to let them out on this field here. I've still got the temporary wire up, but they didn't want to go, and then one of them hooked the wire with its foot and pulled a whole bunch of stuff down. So now we get to start over on that. So wonderful. It's also getting super cold right now, and with the wind blowing, this is miserable. Why couldn't they break out on a sunny day? Or even this morning when it was almost 60 degrees. I don't really know where we're gonna, I don't know where they've escaped. Oh, what fun. It'll be interesting to see how much stuff they destroy before I get them all back where they belong. The few that are still out are working pretty hard to, you know, ruin all my possessions. Faster. They just do that sometimes. Probably those bales weren't as much density as the last ones. I don't know. It's frustrating though, because they should have made it till I got back this afternoon and then been fine. That's one. Now we'll get to go do a second one. than in the driveway. Move it! Yeah, move. Silly things. I think I figured out where they get out. Trouble spot is right there. What are the chances I can get to it without causing myself... Oh my gosh, that wind is cold. I would say this is what they have done. They've pummeled this into submission until there just ain't nothing left. I might actually be better off to work on it on the high side and get the post pounder and whatnot, but they can climb up that, but they can't go down. That's what's going on. Sure. Why not struggle, you know? Why not? All right. We better not go that way again for a while, because we almost got stuck. Now we need to go get fencing supplies. What did I do with my... I guess I better stop here too. I think those fence pliers are still on this trailer from when the trailer was out there. We were building fence. There it is. Okay. Happy fence pliers. We need to go get that post pounder and some wire, and then probably shut off the electric so we don't get electrocuted, because we will inevitably end up hitting it. Oh look, all our fence supplies right where we left them. Neat. Is this the steel? No, that's aluminum. I don't really want aluminum. Let's take these two rusty ones. Get off of there. Take this wad of stuff too. Let's go. Let's get out of this wind. Oh my gosh. Wind is coming from the northwest, basically the north, and it is ice cold. I can feel it cut right through this jacket and everything. It's miserable, and we get to be out in it. Yay! Oh boy. This is not something I wanted to be doing today, but this is a perfect example of how life forces you to do something. I gotta fix this now, because this is the second time, and I finally got concrete evidence that that's where they're getting out. Yeah, see, they've been walking right up here. They pummeled that fence till they got it knocked over, and then they can make the jump up and out, but they will never go back that way. So sure, but we got to turn that electric wire off. This is not ideal. This whole place here, I have built up like it was tremendously washed out, as much as from down there to where I'm standing. I mean, 10 feet probably, and I've been going a little further every time. I need to get some more dirt and go some more, try to get it more blended, a gradual, you know, is what I was working towards. I wanted to get, like right here is a big hole. It'd be nice to have that filled in where this whole thing was just smooth. But we're gonna fix that somehow with this junk. I'm gonna go unconnect the electric and then we'll get to work. All right, well, if they're good little moo-moos, I'll bring them some corn later as a special treat. I really don't want to walk up and down more than I have to, but yeah, your hole's getting fixed, isn't it? You're not going to be able to go this way anymore. Switch to 4x4. Get up there. Some more supplies. Should have took it all down there with us. That's okay. This is boring for you, but it ain't no cakewalk for me either. Part of life. I had that fence beautiful. It was all brand new, just like everything else we did, and they have just slowly totally destroyed it. So that's how she goes. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. Oh. Okay. That ain't the best, but it's better than it was. We'll deal with that this summer when it's dry. Right now it's wet because this is about the lowest point on this whole place. And there's drains that come out here, and that's what makes the problem. So anyway, that stuff like that happens, friends. We need to just mess with our fence. We need to get some more fill dirt, get her straightened up again. We need to get the rest of those cows in. They're out in the other, they can get in and out as they please, but I see that they don't understand it. So we got to do that. But this will hold them till I get back, hopefully, and then we'll deal with it. Oh, it's starting to snow. Fantastic. We love snow, friends. We love snow. We're gonna put this tractor away, and I'll see if this is enough footage for a video. It probably isn't. It's probably stupid, but at any rate, you know the drill. Thanks. Anybody else have the blessing of you fix one thing and then 3 more things quit working? Well, that's where we are. I hooked back up this electric. This should all be redone too. Hooked it back up and it started popping. It's hitting posts here. Went to grab the insulators and maneuver them, and of course it self-destructed. So we're trying to do this hot, and that's going to be something. The Cyclops is in rare form today, so it'll probably light me up pretty good. I could go back and shut it off, but that would almost be, I mean, that's something that makes sense, and we can't do that. Okay, that'll hold that. And get off of there. Oh, got lit up once. Knew I would. Kind of hard to do this one-handed. Come on. All right. Hopefully that gets us by till nicer, warmer times when we can make this better, because that is miserable. Winter time is not the time to be messing with insulators because they shatter. The plastic gets brittle. Let's get this. I don't think I can do that one-handed either. Or is it just this? There. Let's do that. We'll put it right back. But we're going to try to reunite these moo-moos, because they will go nuts if they're not in the same place. Never got our gate put in. That's another project. Never got our fence finished. That's another project. It's not even, I forgot it's not even clipped down, those panels. We need to do that to make that 100%. And then work on the electric wire between there. That's all up and running. And they just tested that out. So that worked fine. Try to get this subcommittee of cows here, get them put back where they belong. Because some of them are mamas to the ones in there, and they don't understand. Some of them need to be sold, like that one of them that's walking away. Possibly that one's a heifer, so I might keep it. I don't know. They're worth so much money now, it makes you just want to get rid of them. But if you want more, you got to keep some back. Come on, feller. You can get in there with your buddies if you just do what I say. Come on. You too, donkeys. Come on. This is not a hard procedure. If you go around, you know where the gate is. It's the same place it's been your entire lives. But it's not. We're going to go round and round and round. That's fine. Get going. It's miserable weather. I want to go inside. Had enough of chasing you. Come on, doggy. No! Go the other way. Get. And that little guy, he won't figure it out. Come on. See, if I'd had that finished, they wouldn't have been able to get this far. They'd have had to stop right here where the fence is. But I didn't accomplish my task yet, so I got to get better weather, a few more supplies, and motivation. That's the biggest thing. Motivation. but one has to go around the opposite way just to cause a problem. All right, well, that was fun. That was a fun side detour from what we were originally going to be doing. Let's go check in on that project. Let's start and end our video in the field of failure. All these projects we should be working on, but life just isn't letting that happen. Got to work on this wagon that I lent out, and now it supposedly has a flat tire somewhere, or one tire goes flat. I don't know. Whatever. I was able to earlier flip this over and paint this other side, and it looks snazzy. I think it's gonna be nice, I says as I rub off the I rub off some of the paint that's not ready yet. That's fine. Probably had some oil on there still that wasn't perfect, but I don't care. It doesn't have to be perfect. I just don't want it to rust and be a rusty bar across there. So we're gonna let that sit for several days probably, because that's what life will do. It's gonna be miserable weather. We'll let it dry. This is actually the underneath, so we're gonna paint this red, then we're gonna flip it over and paint what we see that way, and then we'll try to put it on. But it doesn't matter which is underneath or up, but one side's better than the other is what I'm getting at. So cosmetically, I made a scratch in it one place, and I don't want to be looking at that the whole time. So I'm gonna flip it over, and then we'll try to slide her in there and get all of this stuff lined up. I'm still on the fence of whether I should buy new bolts or just try to hammer these home. There's really no reason why these wouldn't work again. Some new lock washers would be handy, but I don't know. We'll determine that later. When we get that beam put in and put back together, then we need to work on other sins that it has, like that bar that holds the tongue together, not having anything there, being mangled. This side has a bolt driven in it. Stuff like that is probably also equally of importance. And we get it where we can tow it around good, then we'll raise it up here and figure out, I can't remember how many. It's got some bearings out. It's got some, I was thinking it had a spool bad or two on somewhere. I can't remember. It's been too long, but we will get it under control, friends. We had to start somewhere, and that was the worst thing. So we'll put the beam in, get that going, pick it up, probably take that out immediately and have a new one made, or see if we can make that better somehow. And then from there we just go on from one to the next thing, you know. We'll have to have all good bearings and spools and that, and we got to look that over. We got to have good tires, which the tires on the main section are fine. The wing tires are not great, which they don't have to be. They're only down in the field, but that other one is too far gone. So we may end up getting a new tire or two new tires and put them in the middle and move those to the outside. We'll see what life does. See, there's something that's not quite right. Actually, that's a bolt-on extension, isn't it? So that's okay, but we're just missing the rest of it. So anywho, that's okay. We need to move this tire that Molly and Dan brought us. That's a super nice rim and center, but I only got one. I wish I had two, you know. If I'd had the mate to that would have went right on the 1955 38-inch beauty, but that's okay. I'm just looking it all over, but you can't really tell with it down like this, and then the grass having grown around it. Oh, that's another big thing we're gonna fix definitely right away. We can't have that. We'll probably do some replumbing, like when we see hoses that look like that. Let's just fix them now. You know, why struggle bus it? We'll do the welding we need. We'll get the hoses fixed we need. We need to really probably think about redoing the wing things. Like I said, those are awful. But other than a few little things that added up, if we just plug away at them, I think we got a nice thing here. Because like I said, the blades on the back are pretty good for the most part. I mean, they've got a lot of life left in them, probably a lot more than on my green one. So and then it will be interesting to see if I hook to this, if I can get so much more done because I can move faster. I don't know if that's going to be better. I just know there's sometimes when that other one is overwhelming for the 4180. I mean, if I had a 4210 that was a little bit heavier built maybe, or 4225, you know, a little more horsepower from a turbo, I don't know, maybe that would make so much difference. I don't know, but I'm glad that we made some progress finally, because it's been sitting here just eating away at me inside that stuff was not happening. So at least now we're making progress in the right direction, and that's a good thing. So we'll leave this video here. It's been quite the day of mix match stuff. I thought we were going to do some different stuff, but we ended up having to chase cows and fix fence. But at least we got that primed, and that was the big thing, so it doesn't sit here and rust. Now we just have to wait for a nice day where we can finish it up. But that hopefully will be in a week or so. Maybe we'll get some nicer weather, and then yeah, then we'll be able to move this again. It's been so long since we've moved this, and it's just not, that's not any good for nobody, you know. I'm not sure where that hose is. Where's that hose going? Oh, down in the dirt. Awesome. Oh, those are hoses that I took off of the wing lift, and they're not even worth saving at all. As you can see, they're garbage, so that's gonna get done. Oh, that's actually sitting on it. So new hoses and tips for that one, and then we'll be in gooder-ish shape as what we are now. So, and we might have to even, I don't know if that little coupler thing was in, it should be outside of the pipe, but anyway, that's a later problem. We're gonna call this video here. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Oh, I can't do it yet though. I just noticed another free bonus. Look at that free socket I'm getting. Somebody put their socket on to take that wheel off, and the old socket just didn't want to let loose. So there it is. We'll be one step ahead when we start changing tires. So on that note, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. After watching what you just saw, do you feel like your IQ has dropped lower than your credit score? Well, there's no reason that both of us should be miserable, so go ahead and hit that thumbs up and leave a comment. That stuff costs you nothing, and it really helps me out. Your banker may not approve, but I know mine will. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.